month, we've been bringing you the stories of Wales' smallest cities, the places that are modest in size but big in heart. Today is the turn of a city within a city, Llandaff in Cardiff, where the famous cathedral looms large in local life. Well, Gwennan is in Llandaff tonight. Gwennan.
Yes, John, I'm here in beautiful Llandaff with a population of just under 9,000 people. Many consider it Wales' third smallest city. Yes, as you can see behind me, it does have a cathedral, but is it really a city? I've been finding out.
Situated to the north of Cardiff is the ancient city of Llandaff, known to many as the city within a city. And at its heart lies this magnificent cathedral, one of the oldest Christian sites in Britain.
There's been some form of religious community here since the 6th century, but what we're standing in now is the medieval church from the 12th century. It was the most damaged cathedral in the Second World War after Coventry, and I think what's remarkable about it is the building that happened in the 1950s, the thought given into it by the various deans then, and hence having Epstein's Majestus, which we probably wouldn't have been built in this cathedral if we hadn't been partially destroyed by the landmine in 1941. It is the heart of the diocese. There are numerous services throughout the week. We have a thriving Sunday school, 100 more children at 9 o'clock on a Sunday at the 9 o'clock all ages service. So it's very thriving. The cathedral here being outside Cardiff, well outside Cardiff for much of its time, is the reason why those who are born and bred in Llandaff regard Llandaff as a city. Though technically it is not. You can have a city without a cathedral, you can have a cathedral in Guildford, and that isn't a city. But we pride ourselves in calling ourselves a city within a city.
And from the serenity of the cathedral to the tranquility of the rowing club, where its influence continues.
When we first started in 1946, we had to get permission from the cathedral, not only to use the bishop's mitre, but in those days you weren't allowed to row on a Sunday afternoon. Still to this day, you're not allowed to row on this river without a top on with the men. You have to have some sort of cover.
And for this small city, there's a sense of a village mentality.
It's very close-knit. Everybody seems to know everybody, and we like to get involved. Once we've had our rowing here, we go down, we have a coffee in the various coffee shops that we've got down in the city.
Despite being surrounded by the modern city of Cardiff, Llandaff has its own bustling high street, full of independent shops, traditional pubs and quaint cafes.
I've come here like most of my life. I used to come here in lockdown. I always used to get a ham and cheese panini from here. Just loved it. I started working here like 6 months ago. There is a real sense of community around here because it's a city, but it's so small, so everyone does kind of know each other. There's a lot of events on. The cathedral do a lot of events. There's a lot of events on the green and sometimes in the Bishop's Palace as well. But it's all a stone's throw away from each other. Everything's within like a couple of meters of each other. It's great.
Sarah's been running her flower shop for over 30 years, and she says the high street's changed a lot over the last 3 decades.
Well, we've had the change in traffic circulation because the green got cut off, but I think sort of 10 or 15 years on, some things have changed. So where we lost trade from people that were coming to go to the bank, we no longer have the banks, so that type of footfall has gone. But the schools seem to be doing a slightly different trade. They've got bigger and we get more parents from that. I think the future's reasonably bright. There's been some new businesses come onto the high street recently. They seem to be doing quite well, which helps us do quite well. So yeah, hopefully it'll keep going.
This city might be small, but it's certainly heading in the right direction.
As as you heard there, the high street really is thriving and is setting a great example for others. It's got everything from independent shops to high-end restaurants. And there's a real sense of community here as well. Now, Llandaff's been named as one of the best urban places to live in the UK. And after spending some time here, John, I'm really not surprised.
Yeah, we can see that and see why. Gwen, thank